everything changes in a heartbeat. And in this moment, at the quiet edge of Heartland Ranch, something is about to happen that Amy never saw coming. A single choice, a single question, and the start of a story she didn't expect to face again. The sun rises slowly over Heartland Ranch, painting the sky in soft gold. The world feels peaceful, but underneath that calm, Amy's heart is still carrying weight she doesn't speak about often. She stands by the fence, watching the horses move through the early morning mist. This is where she feels safest, close to the animals who always understand her, even when people don't. For the past few weeks, life has been steady but complicated. Amy has been trying to keep everything balanced, being a mother, training new horses, and helping the ranch run smoothly. From the outside, she looks strong, focused, and calm. But inside, she's still figuring out what her future should look like. Some days she feels ready to move forward. Other days she feels like she's standing in the same place, waiting for something she can't name. Nathan has been around more than usual lately. At first it felt like coincidence showing up to help with a horse, dropping by to check on a project, being nearby when she needed a hand. But Heartland is a place where people feel things before they say them. And everyone has noticed the way Nathan looks at Amy. It's gentle, careful, and full of something he hasn't admitted yet. As Amy walks across the yard, she spots Nathan near the barn, carrying a bucket of tools. He pauses when he sees her, offering a quiet smile, the kind that tries not to say too much. There's a softness in the air between them, something unspoken but growing stronger with every passing day. Even Amy can sense it, though she keeps telling herself it's just friendship, just kindness, just support. But the truth is simple. Nathan cares. Maybe more than he should. Maybe more than Amy is ready for. Still, he moves carefully, never pushing, never rushing. He just finds small ways to be there, helping with the horses, sharing quiet moments, listening without judgment. And even though Amy isn't ready to think about new feelings, she can't deny the comfort his presence brings. As the morning settles in, something feels different. Almost like the calm before a storm, not a destructive one, but the kind that brings change. And whether Amy is prepared or not, life is slowly steering her toward a moment that could reshape everything she believes about love, healing, and second chances. The day begins like any other. But somehow it feels heavier, like the air itself is holding a secret. Amy walks into the barn, the familiar smell of hay and dust wrapping around her like a warm memory. The horses shift in their stalls, their soft breaths echoing in the quiet space. This place has always been her shelter, the one corner of the world where she can breathe without pretending. But today, even the barn seems to be waiting for something to happen. Amy moves to a troubled mare she has been working with for days. The horse is nervous, stubborn, and carrying pain that no one fully understands. Amy places her hand gently on its neck, speaking in a calm voice, the same voice she has used hundreds of times in her life. The mare relaxes little by little, responding to the patience Amy always gives so freely. But just as the moment settles, Amy senses she is not alone. Nathan stands a few steps behind her, watching quietly. He doesn't interrupt. He simply takes in the scene, admiring the way Amy can reach a horse's heart without saying a single word. His presence is steady, almost grounding, like he belongs in this moment, even though he hasn't been invited into it. When Amy finally turns, she finds him smiling. Not a bold smile, but a soft, unsure one that hints at something deeper. Their conversation starts casually, but there's an unusual warmth in the way Nathan speaks. He notices the mare's progress, praises Amy's patience, and listens as she explains what the horse needs next. Their voices blend with the soft rustling of the barn, creating a calm rhythm that feels almost natural. Almost meant to be, but beneath that calm, something else is forming, something neither of them fully understands yet. As they talk, a quiet moment settles between them. Nathan steps closer, offering to help with the training session. Amy hesitates, not because she doubts him, but because part of her knows that letting someone into her work also means letting them into her life. Still, she nods, allowing him to join her. The troubled mare reacts differently when Nathan approaches, and the way he mirrors Amy's calm presence surprises her. For a few seconds, the world feels strangely peaceful. Two people, one difficult horse, and an unexpected harmony. But just as the moment begins to settle, Amy catches a look in Nathan's eyes, one she has been trying to ignore. It's gentle, hopeful, and a little scared. A look that says he feels something he can't hide much longer. The episode opens quietly, but the silence has weight. Something is shifting. Something is building. And in this simple barn, surrounded by dust and sunlight, dude, the first steps toward a life-changing moment are already beginning to form. The calm of the morning doesn't last long. By midday, the ranch is buzzing with tension that seems to come from every direction. Amy tries to stay focused on the troubled mare, but something keeps pulling her attention away. An uneasy feeling that today won't stay peaceful for long. It begins when the mare suddenly reacts to a shifting shadow on the ground, jerking back and nearly knocking over a bucket. Amy steadies the horse, whispering gently, but she can feel its fear like a pulse under her fingertips. Something is bothering this horse more than usual. And Amy can't shake the worry that she's missing a piece of the puzzle. Nathan, who has been helping nearby, steps in again, calming the mare with surprising ease. His patience mirrors Amy's, but his closeness adds a new kind of pressure. He's not doing anything wrong, he's just being kind, supportive, present. And maybe that's exactly why everything feels heavier, just as Amy begins to regain control of the moment. She hears familiar footsteps. Jack appears at the barn entrance, arms folded, watching Nathan with a protective expression only a grandfather can pull off. He doesn't say a word, but the message is clear. He's keeping an eye on things. Lou follows soon after, curious but hopeful, always wanting Amy to move forward but not wanting her to rush into something she isn't ready for. Tim, however, is the opposite, quick to judge and already forming opinions before the situation has even unfolded. The different family reactions create a quiet storm around Amy. No one says anything outright, but their looks, their silence, their careful questions, they all push at her from different sides. It makes her chest feel tight, like she's being asked to choose a path she hasn't even taken a step toward yet. Nathan notices the tension too. He tries to give Amy space without walking away completely. Every time he steps back, he somehow ends up drifting close, again drawn by a concern he can't hide. When he speaks, his words are soft, almost apologetic, as if he's afraid of making her uncomfortable. As the afternoon goes on, the mare grows restless again, picking up on the emotions swirling around the barn. Amy struggles to focus, knowing that even the horses can sense the shift in the air. With every passing minute, the weight of the unspoken feelings grows heavier, pulling her deeper into an emotional tug-of-war she never planned to face. This isn't the kind of conflict that comes from arguments or mistakes. It's the quiet kind, the kind that builds slowly inside the heart, where fear and hope collide. And right now, Amy is standing in the middle of it, trying to breathe, trying to think, trying more than anything to keep her world from changing faster than she can handle. The afternoon light begins to soften, stretching long shadows across the ranch. The rush of chores slows down, giving Heartland its familiar quiet again. But inside the barn, the air still carries the weight of everything unspoken. Amy finishes checking on the mare, brushing the horse's mane with slow, steady strokes. For a moment, she lets herself breathe deep and unguarded. Nathan appears at the doorway, not with tools in his hands this time, but with a hesitant uncertainty in his posture. He steps in slowly, like he's making sure he isn't interrupting something sacred. Amy doesn't turn right away, but she feels his presence settle behind her. It's warm and a little overwhelming. When she finally looks at him, their eyes meet in a way that stops time for a heartbeat. Nathan offers a small smile, but it doesn't reach his eyes. He's nervous, more nervous than she's ever seen him. He clears his throat and asks if she wants help finishing up the day's work. His voice is calm, but there's a softness underneath that makes it hard for Amy to look away. She nods, and they fall into a quiet rhythm as they clean the stalls and check the feed. They don't talk much, yet somehow it feels like they're saying a lot. Every time their hands brush or they reach for the same tool, something inside Amy shifts. Not a loud, crashing change, but a gentle one. A small warmth slipping into a place she thought had closed long ago. As they finish, Nathan walks beside her toward the pasture. The sky above them is painted in pink and orange, and the horses graze peacefully. The evening settling like a blanket over the land. They stop at the fence, leaning on the wooden rail. It's here, in this quiet space, that Nathan finally lets the wall around his heart crack open. He tells Amy that he's noticed how much she carries, how strong she tries to be for everyone else. His voice is low, careful, nearly trembling. He tells her she deserves moments of peace, moments where she can lean on someone else instead of holding the world alone. Amy doesn't answer right away. She stares out at the horses, trying to gather her thoughts. No one has spoken to her like that in a long time, gently without pushing. She feels something rise inside her, something like gratitude and fear. Nathan doesn't step closer or try to take her hand. He gives her space, respecting every bit of the boundary she holds. But the truth is there, in his eyes, uncovered for the first time. He cares deeply, more deeply than he's dared to show until now. And though Amy's heart is still guarded, this moment, this quiet, honest moment settles into her like a seed planted in soil that's finally ready to open. Something is changing. Not loud, not sudden, but real. Evening settles over Heartland in a way that feels almost unreal, soft wind. It's quiet fields and a sky glowing with fading colors. It's the kind of night that makes everything feel heavier and more meaningful, as if the world is holding its breath. Amy walks toward the barn again, hoping the familiar space will help clear her thoughts. But tonight, the quiet brings its own kind of tension. Nathan is there, standing near the tack room, wiping dust off his jacket as if he's preparing himself for something. He straightens when he sees her, and there's a shift in his expression, something serious, something brave. Amy notices the way his hands tremble for barely a second before he hides them in his pockets. Whatever is on his mind isn't small. They fall into step together, walking toward the pasture without speaking. The only sounds are the soft crunch of gravel beneath their boots and the distant whinny of a horse settling in for the night. The air between them is thick, not with discomfort, but with anticipation neither of them can fully name. When they reach the fence line, Nathan stops. The sky behind him is streaked with fading light, and for a moment, Amy sees him differently, not just as someone who helps her, not just as a friend, but as a man deciding to risk everything for the chance of something more. He takes a slow breath. Amy feels the shift before he even speaks. Nathan begins by talking about the past. Few months how being around her has changed him. How he's found a sense of peace he didn't know he was missing. His voice is steady, but his eyes tell the truth. He's scared, terrified even. Not of her, but of what this moment could mean. Amy listens without interrupting, without running, without hiding behind her usual calm. She feels every word he says, not because she expected them, but because she knows how hard it must be for him. To finally say them out loud, he reminds her of the small moments they've shared, the quiet talks, the laughter they didn't plan, the way they both understand silence. And with every word he speaks, the air grows heavier. It's like the world is waiting for what comes next. Amy's heartbeat quickens. She can sense where this is heading, but she isn't ready at least. She doesn't think she is. Still, she doesn't step back. She stays right where she is, standing at the edge of something that could break her or heal her. Nathan looks down for a moment, gathering strength. When he looks up again, his eyes are clear, filled with a determination she's never seen in him before. It's as if he has made peace with whatever her answer might be. This isn't an ordinary night. This isn't an ordinary conversation. This is the moment right before everything changes, quiet, fragile, and full of a courage that could redefine both of their lives. The wind softens to almost nothing, as if even nature refuses to interrupt what is about to unfold. Nathan steps away from the fence, turning fully toward Amy. His shoulders rise with a slow breath. It's the kind a person takes when they are about to give away a piece of their heart. Amy feels the shift immediately. Her chest tightens, her palms grow warm, and even the quiet seems to lean in closer. Nathan's voice starts low, steady in sound but trembling underneath. He tells her he never meant for this to happen, ever expected to feel anything beyond respect and friendship. But somewhere in the middle of shared chores, late-night conversations, and quiet moments only they understood, his feelings began to grow. Not fast, not loud, but in a way that felt real, honest, unavoidable. Amy's breath catches at his honesty. She looks down at her hands for a second, trying to steady herself, but she can't look away from him for long. Something about the way he speaks quiet, sincere, it's almost afraid pulls her attention right back. Nathan steps closer. Not too close, only enough to show he's not running from the moment. He tells her she deserves to be loved with patience, with understanding, with kindness. And he wants to be that person if she let him. His voice breaks for a heartbeat. Not from weakness, but from the weight of the truth he's finally releasing. Then he reaches for something in his pocket. Not a ring box. Not something planned. Just a simple silver band tied to a thin leather strings. Something humble, something honest, something perfectly him. He holds it out, his hand shaking slightly. "Amy," he whispers. "I know your heart has been through more than most people can imagine. I know you're still healing, and I would never rush you. But I also know what I feel. And if there's even the smallest place for me in your future, I'm asking you to consider it. I'm asking you to think about building something with me. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday." For a second, the world goes silent. Amy can feel her heartbeat in her ears, in her chest, in every part of her that remembers heartbreak and healing. Nathan isn't kneeling. He isn't putting pressure on her. He's giving her a choice, gentle, open, and painfully sincere. Her eyes fill. Not with certainty, but with emotion she can't control. She sees all the memories she's lived through: love, loss, survival, and now. Standing right in front of her, something new. Something she never expected. Nathan keeps his hand outstretched, though his voice is barely holding together. He tells her he isn't asking for an answer tonight. He just wants her to know his heart is hers, if she wants it. That's the proposal, not a demand. Not a rush, but an invitation to hope again. Amy doesn't speak. She can't. Not yet. But her silence says enough. She's shocked, overwhelmed, and standing at the edge of a decision that could change everything. And Nathan, watching her carefully, knows it. The night deepens around them. The sky now, a soft blanket of stars, scattered across the quiet Heartland sky. Amy stands frozen, staring at the simple silver band in Nathan's trembling hand. It isn't the ring that overwhelms, hurts, the meaning behind it, the hope it carries, and the fear it awakens. Her breath comes slowly, almost uneven, as she tries to steady the storm building inside her chest. Nathan doesn't push. He doesn't step closer. He simply waits. His eyes gentle but filled with a fear he can't hide. In that stillness, Amy feels something shift. Something small, but powerful. She looks at Nathan, really looks at him, and sees not just a man standing in front of her, but someone offering her a future built on patience and understanding. She opens her mouth to speak, but the words refuse to form. The memories of her past weigh heavily: ties, laughter, ties, touch, the life she once believed would last forever. Those memories aren't chains, but they're still pieces of her heart. And tonight, facing Nathan's open vulnerability, those pieces ache. Amy takes a step back, not out of fear, but out of confusion. She whispers Nathan's name, her voice barely audible. She tells him she didn't expect this, not now, not like this. Her voice cracks as she admits she doesn't know what she's ready for. She's honest, raw, and vulnerable in a way she hasn't allowed herself to be in a long time. Nathan nods slowly. The rejection he expected doesn't come, but neither does the answer he hoped for. Still, he stays calm. He tells her again that he doesn't need an answer tonight, that he just wanted her to know how he feels. He wanted to give her something real, something she can think about when she's ready. Amy's eyes fill with tears. She tries to blink away. She turns toward the field, letting the cool air brush against her face. She tells him she appreciates his honesty more than he knows, that his words matter, that he matters. Her voice shakes with every sentence, but each one carries truth, She walks a few steps toward the pasture, her thoughts a whirlwind she can't tame. Nathan stands behind her, quietly waiting, not daring to say anything more. He knows this moment isn't about getting an answer. It's about giving her space to breathe. Amy finally turns back to him. Her voice is soft but steady when she says she needs time. Time to understand her heart. Time to heal the parts of herself she hasn't looked at closely in years. Time to see if she can open her heart again without losing the memories she treasures. Nathan accepts her words with a gentle nod. There's pain in his eyes, but there's also hope, the quiet, patient kind that waits without rushing. He places the silver band in her hand, closing her fingers around it softly. Whenever you're ready, he whispers.